What are you doing, Tina?
What are you doing, Jenny?
We are two women living our best lives in the Black Hills of South Dakota, sharing our stories, laughs, and projects happening in the garage.
Whether you're looking for a bit of joy, a spark of creativity, or just a comforting voice, you can find it here. Unicorn!
All right, welcome to the Unicorn Projects. We have a special guest.
Yes,
not in studio, but in Zoom.
Yes, this is our first time having a remote guest, and we couldn't have picked a better one.
Our first Zoomie.
Our first
Yes.
Zoomie. So I want to go back and kind of just tell the story about how this all unfolded, and I'm going to ask Jenny to talk a little bit about it too. But today we have Jenny Block on our podcast, and she is the author of Be That Unicorn, and she actually has a new book coming out. And she ended up reaching out to us on our social media because, you know, we're unicorns, right? And she sent us a copy of her book with the sweetest card. And so we've kept in touch. And now she has a new book coming out, which I am so excited about. And I want her to tell us all about it because it's all about manifestation, and we are in a season of manifestation, I feel like. And so, Jenny, welcome. We're so happy to have you with us today. And would you like to just give us a brief introduction about you and who you are and kind of your backstory and how it is that you're sitting here with us today?
Wow. Okay. That's a lot for one question. I'll do my very best. I'm a writer and author. I contribute to the New York Times in their weddings and style section. My fifth book, as you mentioned, is coming out. I live outside of Houston, Texas. And as you said, I think it was my wife who saw y'all on Instagram or TikTok and was like, there are more unicorns out there. And I was like, okay, well, then I guess I need to talk to them. So it was just great. Like you said, we sort of kept in touch. And then as this new book got closer, here we are.
Yes. So, Jenny, for people that don't know, do you want to just talk about the new book that you have coming out? And I also want to go back and talk about Be That Unicorn, because one thing that I didn't ask you is I'm really interested in what led you to write a book like Be That Unicorn. And if you can just give our listeners an overview about the premise of the book.
Sure. So everybody always says that my superpower is making other people feel good about themselves, which is my favorite compliment. And so people would say, oh, I just wish I could put you in my back pocket and have you with me all the time. And so I thought, actually, you kind of could do that. So I wrote a book, it's this cute little tiny format. I'm sorry, I don't have one on me, that you quite literally could have at least almost in your back pocket all the time. And Be That Unicorn was really in response to two books. One was, pardon my French, F this stuff.
Yeah.
The other one was Lean In. And, that's great if those processes work for other people. But for me, just saying F this is not really my way of approaching life. And I get concerned that leaning in, especially for women, we're always being asked to lean in. Like we lean in so far, we're hitting our heads on the pavement. So it felt like enough already. So the book was, I feel like, is the middle ground between those two things where we can get what we want, do what we want, be who we want. We don't have to trample on other people and work outside the system, which doesn't work anyway. Like there's a way to operate in the universe and feel authentic and still get the things that we want and need. It always feels like we're making that compromise. Like, well, I really wanted that, but I want to be nice, so I'm going to take this. Well, that's terrible too. So the idea was that unicorn, the metaphor, that unicorn, that's the person when you go to a party and you're like, who is that? I just like that vibe. I like that energy.
Right.
I mean, it's not necessarily the most attractive, or it could be. It's not necessarily even the funniest, but it's not necessarily the whatever-ist of anything, but it is the person that you're just sort of, you want to be around. So why is that? If it isn't money or fame or blah, 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 I think it's that they feel so good about themselves that comes out because they can celebrate all of you. It's like being with, that unicorn is the best friend.
The best friend.
Right,
Yeah.
it's not
Like,
your best friend necessarily, but it's it's a human that would be, you'd be
yeah.
a best friend, that's a best friend.
Yeah. Unapologetically yourself all the time.
And authentically that,
Yeah.
because there's this funny thing about like, I'm so different, and then you look like everyone else because deep down you want to be weird but not too weird. And that was sort of a tough lesson I learned. I went to the same summer camp every summer, and then the summer between like 8th and 9th grade, I think, I went back as me. I still wore my Girl Scout uniform to
Mhm.
school. It was different in the 80s. I was still a little girl for all intents and purposes. And went to summer camp, and you do the first day like sitting around and hi, my name is whatever. Well, I had my monkey puppet, that you put your hand in and then the arms and legs go around you. I'm like, hi,
Right.
Yeah.
and this is Harry, and we're really excited for camp this year. And there are all these girls with their Bloomies underwear, Bloomie across their backside, and John Bon Jovi in their camp locker. And I was like, something happened over the summer and I wasn't invited. And the whole summer, that was it. That was literally social suicide. Like, I was a pariah that summer because if you touched me, your coolness just whoosh, evaporated. So I went to high school. I went to a private Catholic high school. My father's a rabbi. It was the best school in town. He taught the Jewish students. He also taught religion there. And I was like, this is going to be different. I'm going to be me. And I guess I was watching too many 80s movies because I shaved one side of my head and then had, the
Yep.
asymmetrical yeah.
Oh
And
my gosh, Jenny, I had the same haircut. I actually have my senior picture on the shelf at my office, and I'm gonna send it to you because I think we had the same hairstyle, and I was also terminally uncool. So
okay, so that's exactly what I'm talking about. You and I were in totally different places, desperately trying to be different, and we were exactly the same.
yeah,
Because
there it
that
is.
still wasn't me. Like, this is me. Like, I've had the same hair with the same bangs when I've gone back to who I am. But I tried really hard to be weird, but I was still on the debate team. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't get it right.
That's awesome.
I mean, I literally spent all of high school like chasing boys. Oops, I'm a lesbian. Like being on everything was not quite what I did my bestest, but it wasn't, it wasn't right.
Is comedian in there
Yeah,
somewhere?
I get it. I
Now,
totally
it
get
wasn't
it.
then. But even that, like, you could be funny, but not too funny, right? Like, and then I felt like the director of the woman who directed the school plays got me, Gwyn Howard. She was so weird. She grew so much weed on her property that she thatched the ceilings of her house with it. That's who I'm talking about here. And it was a very like the weird in me sees the weird in you, like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was the lion in The Wizard of Oz, and I was devastated. What do you mean? Aren't I an ingenue? Look at all 5 feet of me. And she was like, who wants to be Dorothy when you can be the lion?
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm the character actress in this scene.
Yes.
And then that became the thread I followed. Now, did I get invited to the parties in school? Absolutely not. Did I get invited to homecoming by anyone other than the debate team captain? No, I did not. But I could sit anywhere I wanted in the cafeteria because I wasn't cool, but I was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was funny and you could count on me.
Tina, that's a lot like you, right? I mean, what she's kind of describing for her high school experience was a little bit like
Yeah,
you.
I didn't really belong to one specific group because I was nice to everybody. And similar, I was a smart kid, I was a good athlete. So from inside the walls of the school, I would fall into the category of being quote unquote popular. But outside of that, I didn't know when the parties were because I wouldn't have gone anyway. I didn't know that, people were gathering on the weekends to, have sleepovers or do whatever it is that they did. I don't even know what they did to this day because I never went. That's not how I chose to spend my time. But like your experience, I could go into the cafeteria or I could walk the halls and high five anybody, upperclassmen, lowerclassmen, teachers, the principal, it didn't matter. You just, it sounds like you and I had this similar magnetism, if you will, that drew people in because we were kind.
That, I mean, that's probably the simplest thing. We drew people in because we were kind, which at times was extra not popular. Like,
Yeah.
not going to invite us to the field party because, oh, she's too nice, or that's not her jam, which is
Yeah.
probably true. I didn't really want to go cow tipping, but at the time, I wanted to want to go cow tipping. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yep. Same thing.
I
Same.
think that's my regret when people are like, if you could go back to high school, first of all, I would definitely date girls, but it was the 80s. But second of all, I would have just stopped chasing everything. I would have been Lady Gaga. I would have been Chappell Roan. I would have let them come to me.
Yeah.
Gaga is my favorite example who is someone who did not have that middle school camp experience, who was just as weird, who wore the things. She used to tap dance out on the street or dance and sing out of the street on the street corner. My best friend and I used to do that too in our sequin leotard.
Amazing.
But at some point, someone teased me too hard, and so I gave it up. And they teased me because they wanted to tap dance in a sequin leotard, and I didn't know.
Yeah, you did. We don't know what we don't know at that age. Like we don't understand,
Right.
and so it puts us into this place of hiding or
And
shame.
my dad kept telling me everyone, they're just jealous. I'm like, right, they're jealous of my buck teeth and brown hair. Like, really?
Yeah.
I think that's the problem here. I just couldn't see past it. And the irony is that a zillion years later, there was a high school reunion. I don't know, maybe 15, maybe 20 years. I can't remember which one it was. And I got a phone call, and it was from either like the prom queen or the homecoming. It was someone like a head cheerleader, someone uber popular. Hi, how are you? Like super bubbly. I was like, great, thank you. How are you? What are you doing now? Oh, I'm a writer, blah, blah. What do you? Oh, I still live exactly where we
Yeah.
lived. And I married the guy from high school who works at the gas station. Are you coming to the reunion? And I said, she must have hit me on an honest morning. Maybe I had no espresso or too much, because I was like, why would you care? And then I thought, oh dear.
That actually rolled out of my mouth.
Yeah, you had feelings about it. You didn't realize it until it was too late.
Right. And she was like, what do you mean? We all loved you. You were the funniest at school, blah, blah, blah. And again, mouth, like, really? Because I don't think I was ever invited to a party once in high school. And I'm like, why are you, what are you picking at the bear right now? What's
Right.
that, Jenny Block? But it was just so interesting to me, her perception of me versus my perception of me. I think in some ways I was too comfortable with myself, and that was annoying. And I think it's still annoying to people. People, some people really dislike Lady Gaga or Chappell Roan, or gosh, even Taylor Swift. Like, she can't really be that nice. She can't really be that happy. Why is she always sharing everything? Like, I'm sorry, your life sucks, but hers doesn't. And to be mad at her, I quote her in the book. She says, I'm going to misquote her right now, but she basically says the worst thing you can do is make fun of someone for what makes them happy.
Exactly.
100%. And
right?
One of the things I love about your writing is it's so palatable, and you have this relatable way of, like when we talk about manifestation and how we walk through the world, those are kind of heavy topics, but you have this really lighthearted conversational way of kind of imparting these life lessons about kind of these energetic laws of the universe. And how did you learn that?
I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's all my dad. I mean, it's just my dad. Like, I remember so the new book is called Badass Manifesting, and is all about sort of creating the life that you want beyond the vision board. I mean, I thought The Secret was a really interesting idea. And I love the idea of a vision board. I think it's great to put your ideas together and be able to look at them. The problem I saw, the reason I wrote this book, the gap I wanted to fill, was the fact that there was nothing beyond that. I felt like people were stranded. Yeah. I remember my dad used to teach a religion class, where the very first day of class, he would come in the room and he would say, if there is a God, I want a red bicycle. And of course, none would appear. And he'd say, okay, let's try one more time. If there's a God, I want a red bicycle. And my dad would go, "Eh," and pack up his bags and start to go to the door. And the kids would be like, whoa, 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 where are you going, Rabbi? And he's like, well, God didn't listen. The universe didn't listen. Nobody's listened. See, it's all bullshit. And they were like, no, 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 Rabbi, it's about faith. And you come back and, oh, well, what does faith mean? Okay, so what my father was asking was what's the core, and then how do we make that part of our reality? So
Yeah.
that was what he taught me. What is it that you want, and what are you doing to make that happen? That's adorable that you want that. And that could be as simple as, earning money and buying the thing that my parents wouldn't buy, or asking the person to do the thing that you're afraid they don't like you or don't want to do. My dad always says the worst answer you'll ever hear is no, thank you. That's it. And as soon as I wasn't scared of no anymore. So badass manifesting is about taking the next step. It's about putting yourself in the room where it happens. It's about admitting to yourself what it is that you really want to manifest. Because if that's true, then you probably would be living life differently. And that's okay too. You could say, well, I thought I wanted that, but I guess I don't really. I used to always say I wanted to be an actress, whine and whine. I'm never going to be an actress. I'm never going to be an actress. And my dad said, well, you're not if you're going to live in Richmond, Virginia and work at Laura Ashley and hang out with your friends. So let's move you to New York. Oh, I can't afford it. Okay, well, we don't have any money, but we'll figure it out. We will move you to New York and pay the first 3 months rent. Oh, but I won't know anyone. Okay, well, we'll take a trip early and we'll meet some people. Heck, I have friends who have kids there. Well, blah, blah, blah. I had an excuse for everything. And my dad said, so you don't want to be an actress? And I was like, okay, be right again, Dad. So now that's my test.
Yeah. What was there a personal turning point for you that you can think of where you stopped trying to fit in and just owned your shine?
I walked into orientation day of college and someone walked up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Meg." And I said, "Hi, I'm Jennifer." And she said, "Oh," just like that. "Oh." And I said, "I'm Jenny." And she said, "Oh." Like it was like she could feel in my body this like wanting to be someone different. Who am I? What's happening? And it was like, I don't know. She was one of those people who sees chills, who sees people. And she said, "Want to be roommates?" And I was like, yes, okay. And it turned out we were both honor students. And with my maneuvering, we got a corner room that was supposed to be a triple that was just for us. And we went to Bed Bath and Beyond, and our moms bought us matching pink floral bedspreads and curtains. And we decorated the whole room. They called us the Laura Ashley twins. And all of a sudden, there were all these other people that were all these other things. So I could be all the things I was. I auditioned for the play. I did actually work at Laura Ashley, which I was obsessed with. I wore long floral dresses and Joan and David riding boots. Like I just was like, this is who I am. And other people seem to dig it. And nabbit, my dad was right again. And then I feel like I've had that turning point over and over. Like I graduated college and they were like, oh, well, honor students in English go to law school. And I was like, okie dokie. And I, put on a different kind of outfit and tried to do law school. And a year and a half later, called my dad crying and was like, this is not, what the heck? And he said, fax your resignation. It was 1993. So fax your resignation.
Fax it with the roll of paper.
In 7 hours, you can send one sheet of paper to the
So true.
Now I'm like, ding, did you get my email? Did you get it? Did you get it?
Yeah. I have a question. One of the things about manifesting is what would you tell people who aren't sure what to manifest? Like, how do you get the clarity about what it is that you're trying to actualize in your life? Like, do you have any tips for that?
Well, I think we have to start at the beginning. How about we start every morning saying, today's going to be an amazing day? What if that's just what we manifested?
Hmm.
What does that look like? Well, when we go to the coffee shop, even though 2 pumps of vanilla is probably not necessarily on our healthy travel plan, maybe that day we're going to have both pumps. Then we would really like the seat by the window, but we'd have to ask that guy to move his briefcase. We hate asking people to do things. We take a deep breath and we say, pardon me, sir, would you mind moving your briefcase? I would like to feel the sun on my face. We make these tiny little things. So at the end of the day, we say, wow, I manifested a great day today. And the
Hmm.
next day we say, I don't know, today I'm finally gonna ask my boss if I can move my cubicle. And then the next day, I'm finally gonna ask out that person who, or heck, ask that girl who sits in the other office that I want to have coffee with, and I'm worried she'll think I'm, weird for wanting to make friends as an adult. Every day we set reasonable goals and then we do the things that get us to those goals.
Hmm.
Manifesting isn't a magic trick. Manifesting is aligning your brain with your actions. And, if people want to tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. We can all manifest in different ways. I'm not claiming to have invented anything. I'm telling you that when I want something, when I really want it, and when it's really meant for me, I can't go against the laws of physics, but I can
Yeah.
certainly take all the steps to make that happen. For example, I would like to be a part of the NFL.
Right.
Any way I'm going to ever play football? Absolutely not. Not even if they started a girls 5 feet and under who are an athletic league, it still wouldn't work out for me. But could I do PR for the NFL? Could I party plan for the NFL? Could I be someone's admin I'm probably the coach still needs an admin. Yes, there are a zillion ways I could be part of heck, I'd like to win a Grammy. There's still hope for this non-singer to win a Grammy. They
Mm.
give a Grammy for liner notes.
Wow.
Mm.
So you tell me what it is that you want that you're sure is so impossible, and I'll tell you that there's a way into that. It might not be the one you thought of. It might
Sure.
not be
Yeah.
the one that, you initially imagined, but maybe that means it's what the universe wants.
Yeah.
One word that I've really tried to embrace lately, and Tina and I were just talking about this last night, is the word and, where we don't have to say this or that. I feel like as I'm coming into middle age, my life is so much more about this and that and this other thing, and trying to remain flexible about how those things all fit together, and maybe, maybe there's one part of what I'm doing that is more important or takes the forefront at a certain time, and then, it's sort of like a season of that, and then I want to go over here and focus my efforts in this area.
I think that's a huge problem with most of us, is that we think we have to be the thing, even just in how we dress. Like if I had to pick one, I would always wear short, puffy sleeve dresses and sneakers. If you made me pick one. But the truth is that I also love to be 14 other people. Like I like to be wide leg jeans and crop tops at 55. Don't
Hmm.
judge. The only thing a woman can't wear after 50 is other people's opinions of her.
Atta girl.
Funny that
Yeah.
you say yes and, because if you're familiar with improv, when you do improv on stage, the rule is you always say yes and. So one day someone said to me on stage, would you like to eat this goldfish? And I said yes, and I would like you to have one too.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
where is that scene going for you? So now I ask that about my life. Do you
Yeah.
want to eat this or to do this or to try this? Yes, and I'm going to need to do it next week, not tomorrow.
So back in the book, Be That Unicorn, you talk about feeling your feelings, Jenny. What's one emotion people often suppress that you think is vital to embrace?
Being sad. I don't know who
Mm.
told us we weren't allowed to be sad. And, I'm on my antidepressants too. I'm not talking about clinically depressed like that. We need to get help for one way or another. I'm talking about sad, like something happens and you are sad about it. And what happens is if you don't express that, for some people, it becomes anger. you eventually like act out and you're really mad at people and the world and your job and everything because you are sad about something, disappointed about something. The question is not, do we stop these feelings? The question is how we're going to act on those feelings so that then we can get through them and move past that. So my dad will always say to me, I think you should cry out, scream, run, go for a walk, go buy an ice cream cone, whatever you need to do all the sad so that then we can move on to the other side of that. And
Wow.
how much time you need for that, I don't know. I don't know your life. Now, if it gets to a point where you can't go to work and you can't be a partner and you can't, okay, now we're starting to talk about a clinical situation and we
Sure.
probably want to ask for help for that. But a regular, like, I didn't get the gig. Oh, well, I'll just try again. And you never deal with that. And then you don't get the next gig and the next gig. And now you're losing your mind and you're
Right.
stomping around and you're mad at the kids. And I mean, that's all just from your little sad that you didn't say, hey, sad, that's, yeah, this is sad. And
Yeah.
I'll be sad about it. My mom just passed in March.
I'm so
And
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
and I'm still working through it, but
Grieving through
the
that.
best thing my dad said was just lose your mind, go for it. Like
Yeah.
stay in bed for 24 hours. Like
Yeah.
don't eat anything that has any, nutritional value. Like I think I'm obsessed with eating things that are bad for me. I'm hearing myself talking like, today I'm going to have a sweet treat because clearly that is what I
There
need.
you go.
Um,
We talk about, Jenny and I talk about sitting in the suck. Sometimes you just need to sit in the suck of the situation to kind of work your way through it.
yeah, I
So
don't,
I'm
I don't know
glad
why
that you brought that up.
Yeah, I don't know why we're so busy saying we're not allowed. Oh, chin up. Oh, brush yourself off and start. Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing I'll cry about. Well, no, for me it is, and so I'm
Yeah.
going to cry about it. And then if you give me the space and I give myself space to do that, well, then I can move on. Otherwise, you don't really want suppressed me. You don't want.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't either.
And that's resilience too. It's feeling the feelings and integrating and moving forward. The show must go on, so to speak.
And I get sick and somebody's like, you'll be fine, or just put on a happy face. Like if anyone ever tells me to
Put on
smile,
a happy face.
like that's like now the flip side of that is when I'm done being sad, but I'm not quite ready. They do say that physically smiling or laughing is good for you and can help you, raise your serotonin levels. Absolutely put on a rom-com. Absolutely do the things to help yourself back out of the funk. But when you need to funk, just funk. Like,
Mhm.
there's no what remember the musical Free to Be You and Me from the 70s?
Yeah.
And there's, it's okay to cry. I
Hmm.
wish I remembered those lyrics, something about the sad when the sad time has you or whatever. And I always think, oh yeah, right. Like I can do my little wallow and I like to do that by myself. There are a lot of people who are like, oh, do you need a this? No, actually I just I just need to do this and then I'll be okay. But you got to let me do this.
Mhm.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, the new book, what it's called. We'll link everything in the show notes so people can, find it. But tell us a little bit about what people can expect to come away with, from the new book, Badass Manifesting.
So first of all, I'm sorry I don't have a copy to show you. I'm on the road right now, and the reason I don't have a copy to show you is because I signed one to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce last night,
Yay.
and I am manifesting that book is going to get in their hands. I gave it to the wonderful restaurant manager at 1587 where we had dinner, and she said she's going to put it in their hands. So I signed that baby and handed it over.
Amazing.
Great.
What I hope people will walk away with is a couple of things. One, I hope that they will buy into this, so to speak. I tried to take the woo-woo out of this. This isn't
Yeah.
a la peanut butter sandwiches. This is how we start on day one, what the practice looks like, and how we really make things happen in our lives. Even if maybe we've said that stuff's not for me, or I tried the secret and there was no secret, it didn't work for me. Like I hope people will sort of, buy into the program, as it were.
Mhm.
The second thing I hope is that people will be able to trust me because each chapter has a personal story of how I came to that mantra. So
Mm.
not just a matter of you should do this. Like I don't believe in shoulding all over people. I just don't think that's helpful. So my hope is that those stories will help people to see themselves in those stories and also see that it worked. Like, when COVID happened and all my writing dried up because there was no more food to write about, no more concerts to write about, no more ballet to write about. And I I remember sort of saying to my brain, I just wish I just want to keep writing and I want it to be like in a happy place. Like I need something here. And ding on Facebook. Does anybody know anyone at the New York Times? There's a really cool wedding. And first, old Jenny said, "Oh, we don't know anybody at the New York Times. Oh, that must not be for me." And the new Jenny said, "We don't know anyone from the New York Times yet."
That a girl.
So, and what do? We go and ask people, "Hey, does anyone know?" And sure enough, the first email I got or DM I got said, I do. I'd love to handle that story. Let me know how to get in touch." And I thought, see, they're gonna take it. See, now you just get, and I thought, geez, Louise, Jenny, chop chop. And I wrote back and said, actually, this is my story. So I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing your contact. And I waited like this. Oh, she's gonna hate me. Oh, she's gonna be mean. Oh, she's gonna say no. And she said, absolutely, here you go. And I
Wow.
Wow.
shame on you, Jenny, for not trusting the universe, for not trusting that another human is just like you and would want to share that with you. And I sent an email and the editor sent one right back and said, this sounds like a great idea. I'll call you Monday. And I thought, well, I don't know how I'm going to live till Monday, but okay. And I started writing about weddings and I've been doing it ever since.
Wow. Incredible.
All I know is that if you don't ask, you are definitely not going to get it.
Yeah.
So I hope the book will inspire, if nothing else, for people just to start opening themselves up to the possibilities. I mean, sometimes I feel like we're not even looking to our right and our left,
Hmm.
Yeah.
right here. And
Mhm.
so if you're wondering why nothing's happening, it's because none of it's right here. You have to put yourself in the room where it happens.
Yeah, we talked about in an earlier podcast that I want to live in a world where we don't drive home and immediately close the garage door.
Can't believe you said that. I have these fantasies of the intentional community where everyone parks behind the main house. And so you
Hmm.
have to at least walk through there and you say whether or not you want to have dinner with everybody or not. And you say hi to whoever's in there. And then you walk through that building to your individual home,
Yeah,
which may or may not have dogs or cats or children or older folks, or it could have anything, right? But it's all of us who've agreed that there's no need for 10 people to own 10 riding mowers. There's
correct.
no reason for 10 people to have 10 different nannies. There's no like it's the way we cut ourselves off emotionally, physically, the whole thing.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
All right, so when should I pack my things?
Let's go.
Let's go. We're ready.
We're
Let's
ready to
do
build
it.
the compound.
Okay, well, I already have a lesbian friend who has property in Costa Rica, and she's like,
Let's
telling me on the
go.
spot,
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
be careful what you manifest, Tina.
Hey,
I know.
man, you have followed us long enough to know that we only say no when we have to, not because we want to.
Right.
And I do say in the book that no is an answer too.
Yeah,
And no to some things is saying yes to yourself. If you say yes to every single thing that people ask of you, which as a people pleaser, I have a bad habit, and then I'm bitter about it and I don't want to do it. And oftentimes people are like, but you said, and I'll say, I know, I said yes, and I shouldn't have. What is that line from Bridesmaids? Melissa McCarthy is like, they're giving out puppies as like party favors, and she's like, I took 10. I may have overcommitted. I
such
feel
a
that
good
way.
movie.
Oh my God. She is
I
my,
love her.
if you're listening, Melissa McCarthy, I'd love to send you a book and be your friend. I just think that character, but even she as a person is like that too. Just
Yes.
like, maybe not the overcommit. Well, no, probably the overcommitting also. But if we're gonna overcommit, then we we have to figure out a way to be our best in that and remind ourselves that you can say, I'm sorry, I can't do that this time. And I'd love to help you in the future when I'm able. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
people say no to me all the time. I don't know why I have such a problem saying no to them.
right. That's so true.
Uh,
Well, if there's one lesson you could teach people about manifesting, what would it be?
So in the summer, I go to a place that we call the Land. It's in Michigan. It's where Michigan Women's Music Festival was every year, Mitch Fest, which sadly after 40 years ended. But the Land is still there. And now we, meaning you and I and all women, own it. We bought it. So it's national park. It's not going anywhere. And every summer we gather on that land for different festivals. So my first time on the Land, I met this amazing woman who also happens to be, she micro crochets.
whoa, wow.
Yeah, I can't even begin to understand how she does it, Molly. And on the Land, you have still to do fundraising, obviously, for taking care of it. And every year they have a 50-50 raffle. So you buy a ticket, and when if you win, 50% of the pot goes to you and 50% of the pot goes to the Land, right? Okay. So I said to Molly, I need to win because I want to donate my half back. So it would be the whole pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, let's go manifest it. I was like, what do you mean, okay, let's go? Like, well, that's not a thing. You don't just like decide. And she's like, oh, yeah, 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 you do. So she told me to say it out loud. I am going to win the 50-50 raffle and donate the full amount. Then I wrote it down. And then she said, I want you to imagine, like, full body feel the moment when you say to someone, holy smokes, guess what? I won the 50-50 raffle and donated the whole amount to the Land. I want you to embody that. And you're going to do that every morning all week till the drawing. And I did, and I won.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, that's awesome.
And when they announced, and the winner is Jenny Block, Molly just looked over at me and went,
Oh my gosh.
so
That's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
if you walk away with one lesson, it's a multifolded lesson. If you don't ask, you're definitely not going to get it. It doesn't hurt to ask. And you have to ask with your full chest. I mean, you have to ask with all of it. If
Yep.
you really want it, you really have to ask. Now, am I curing diseases? No. Am I making healing from that disease easier? I hope so.
Yeah.
Can I, change the world and the politics? No, because it would already be done if that was possible. But I can absolutely change my reaction and how I behave here and how I treat other people. And that will have a direct result on what my little universe looks like.
Yeah.
And I don't have to always go high when they go low. Sometimes I have to meet folks where they are in a spot that isn't always where I think people should be meeting. But if that's what I have to do to take care of myself and others, then that's what I do. I stand up for myself and I say, no, actually, we were sitting here. No, actually, that belongs to me. No, actually, I was in the turn lane first. And we can do it firmly and carefully and kindly.
I love it. I love all of it, Jenny.
Thank you for being such a light in the world and for reaching out and putting these books into the world because there's also a thread of joy that is pervasive in your books where you're just so pure-hearted with your message and your writing, and I hope people will buy your book, Badass Manifesting and Be That Unicorn, and really, really internalize those fundamental messages that you just say so well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm hitting the road. So if people want to find me on Instagram at the Jenny Block, it'll have all the tour dates. I'm going to be all over the place. Yeah, and even if, there are folks who don't dig me, I'm too happy. Somebody wrote Jenny Block lives in fairy tale land or something. And I was like, you should absolutely join me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's totally, you don't have to buy it. All you have to do is try it and you'll see how it
Mm.
works for you. Again, with your full
Yeah.
chest. But it's, I mean, in some ways it's too easy, right? If you're nice to people, then they're nice to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's all about intention first.
Absolutely. And if they're not, that's their stuff, not your stuff. You can go home
Exactly.
and be
Yeah.
like, I did all the best things I did. So maybe that wasn't meant for me. For whatever reason, I shouldn't have sat in that booth or taken that job or gotten on that plane or done that thing. And I may never know. It's not
Yeah.
what crashed or ended or blew up or whatever. It just wasn't meant for me. And now I get to see what is.
Yeah.
Well, you are a gem of a human, and it has been such a pleasure to share some space with you and to now call you a friend. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank
I-
you, Jenny. We will link all of Jenny's information in our show notes, links to her books and her website and her social media. And I hope that people will engage and follow along and certainly be unicorns with us.
I hope so too. And should, some gathering of unicorns occur at some point, maybe in some summer event situation, I would be delighted to be part of your herd because this is
Yes.
Awesome. Did you know a group of unicorns is called a blessing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Let's have a
Yep.
blessing.
Let's have a blessing.
Let's have a blessing. Holy smokes. Wow. Geese are a gaggle and unicorns are a blessing.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Amazing. Thank
All
you.
right, we're gonna send us off with do you want to talk about where people can leave a
Yes.
message or email a question?
Yes, email questions to info@theunicornprojects.com or feel free to give us a call at 844-605-5433.
Yeah, perfect. All right, Jenny, thank you so much. I see you as a guest in the future, and I thank you so much for coming on to talk about your new book, Badass Manifesting. Links in the comments, and we're going to send it off with our usual unicorn. So we do this. Are you ready? All right, unicorn.
Unicorn.
Burn up.
Thank you for tuning in to the Unicorn Projects, hosted by Amy Rose with Jenny and Tina. Music by Caroline Kilty. Produced by Russ Haddon. Engineered by Chris Jaquez. It's the Unicorn Projects on the Home Slice Audio Network.